So, Bronny James. Obviously, look, Bronny James, the 55th pick in the NBA draft. No one really talks 55th pick. The reason why he is a story is because he's no normal 55th pick. The 55th pick normally does not average 4 points a game on 30% shooting in college. The 55th pick also does not normally get a 4-year guaranteed deal. The 55th pick is also normally not a guy who would probably average 15 points a game in Division 2, but let's go on. And before we get on to the main part of the video, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 3,500 subscribers by the end of the month. That would be absolutely insane. If we could hit 3.3k by the end of the day, that would be ridiculous. But anyway, now let's get on to the video. So now, the Lakers have the most convenient, and I repeat, the most convenient injury update in the history of updates. Because somehow, Bronny James, I'm pretty sure he's been with the Lakers. Maybe he hasn't, but Bronny James is now injured. Supposedly, according to some NBA sources, it's because, you know, he's doing too much playing between the NBA and the G League. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that from a source. I really don't know how true that is, but still, like, that's not great. Either way, he has a heel and he's been ruled out for the Jazz. And the most important thing, do you want to know what game is tonight? Do you want to know what game is tonight? It said here he's ruled out for Tuesday's game against the Jazz. Today's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday the 20th. Obviously, oh no, I'm guessing. The Jazz game was last night. Yeah. Sorry, times overlap. Do you know who they're playing tonight in the G League? They're playing the San Diego Clippers. You know, they didn't want the whole facade to be, they didn't want it to be, like, called out. Because, you know, the Clippers is 2 hours away. It's 2 hours away. And not 2 hours away by plane, 2 hours away by car. Man could get an Uber, but, you know, because obviously the excuse for him not playing in away games is, oh, you know, all the travel and he can't fly commercial. Maybe he can't get Ubers either. He could hire a limo driver. He could hire a driver. He could drive himself. I'm pretty sure he can drive, but I'm guessing, according to the Lakers, you know, it's a security risk having Bronny drive from LA to San Diego. I don't know. Like, their games. How many games are they playing in Cali? 1, 2, 3, 4. Their next 4 games are in Cali. Odds of him playing none of them? Odds of him not playing this game tonight, then suddenly being with the Lakers for all of these games. I think the odds are high. Maybe he'll play against the Clippers because, you know, he's already stoking up against one of these teams. Actually, they're home, so we might play them. But there's no way. There's no way they're going to have him play 3 games in 4 nights. It's just not going to happen. Because, well, you know, it's too much. It's too much basketball because, you know, he's with the Lakers as well. He's with the main Lakers team as well. And then we saw, like, Shams, if you guys didn't see the Shams article, or not Shams article, Shams interview, where Shams literally went and said, oh, there's, you know, why do people keep thinking Bronny James should be playing in the G League? You know, he's not signed to a 2-way. There was loads of other NBA teams that wanted to sign him, but he wanted to not be signed on a 2-way. And it's like, well, that's just not true. That's just not true. Like, we all heard the stories that if any team took Bronny James that wasn't the Lakers, he was going to go play in Australia. We all heard those stories. And also, like, if a team, they had the 55th pick. They were like, oh, you know, loads of other teams, if they had the chance, would have taken Bronny James. There was only like 4 picks after them. And none of them were going to take Bronny. And I don't know why I said 4 picks, like 56, 57, 58. There were 3 picks after Bronny James in the draft this year. So obviously, no, the other teams, they passed up on Bronny. Why would they have passed up on Bronny? And they were saying, oh, other teams were willing to offer him a full deal. What other teams? The 3 teams below them? No, they weren't. No, why would any team offer a 55th pick, a 4-year, $8 million deal, which Shams implied? Either way, he was like, oh, he shouldn't be with the G League team. You know, he's a full-time NBA player. He's not a 2-way guy. So why are people expecting him to be acting like a 2-way? Because, man, he shouldn't even be a 2-way. He's not even good enough to be a 2-way. But again, they're doing everything they can to make sure Bronny James plays as little basketball as possible. They're actually trying, the Lakers, and this is not a knock on Bronny James, by the way. If you think this whole thing is a knock on Bronny, no, this is a knock on the Lakers organization. Heck, it's not even a knock on LeBron James, because, to be honest, most fathers, if they had the power to put their kid in this position, would probably do it. And people are like, oh, you want your kid, people, like, I wouldn't do that, I want my kid to earn it. You know what? Some people are like that, other people will take advantage of it in nepotism. Other people, especially when you come from LeBron, haven't earned everything. It's like, okay, maybe, you know what, I don't want my kid to have to deal with the stuff that I went through as a kid, so I'm going to give them the best life possible. Will it work out? Won't it? Who knows? But the reality of the situation is, at this point in time, it's all in the Los Angeles Lakers. They're the only people that I'm blaming for this. The Los Angeles Lakers are trying to make as much money as possible out of Bronny James while having him play as little basketball as possible. After this is a cool story, Bronny and LeBron playing at the same time, for the first game of the season, Bronny should have been sent to the G League and he should never be called up again. Unless, obviously, you want to play him in if LeBron's announced his retirement game and you want to play him in that. But that's the reality of the situation, is he should be with the G League all the time. But the first time they have an away game in a distance where it would look awful if he didn't play, like a 2-hour drive, it would look terrible on Bronny James if he didn't play that game, that away game. You're now seeing like all the seeds from Shams. Oh, he's actually an NBA player, so he's just going down to help out the G League. He's not really a G League player. Man, he's not helping him out. He's actually, in fact, the fact is they killed whoever it was they played their first game. They killed them, and Bronny was the only player on the team who was a negative plus minus. And then they lost their other game while Bronny shot 2 for 10 from the field. Like, that's the reality of the situation. And the thing is that there's a reason this is news. And for people being like, oh, like, just let it, like, just stop talking about it. It's like, no. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not just going to sit there and accept this crap. And that's the reality is if you don't want to listen to this stuff being talked about, then don't make it news. Don't click on the video. It's as simple as that. But the reality is that it's making a mockery of the entire league. An absolute mockery of the entire league. It's making a mockery of the Lakers organization. And it's not a good look on Bronny James. But at the same time, again, if people being like Bronny James should, work his way up, the problem is that if Bronny James, at this point in time, put himself in a position where he's playing at the level he should be, it is physically impossible for him to work his way up to the NBA. I'm sorry, if he went and played in the NBL 1 in England, or the Irish Superleague, or the Pro, or the Leb Plata, or Leb Silver. Is Plata Silver? Leb Silver in Spain. And Leb Silver might be a step too high. But, like, if he put himself at those levels, you're having to go up like 3, 4, 5 leagues just to get to EuroLeague. And then, that's obviously still very far from the NBA. Like, not very far. It's the next step, but it's still quite far from the NBA, realistically. And I don't know, like, looking at this stuff all the time, it's just getting more and more frustrating. Because again, like I mentioned yesterday, you see guys like Shams completely lying about the whole situation. Making it seem like, oh, Bronny's never really meant to be in the G League. Bronny's with the NBA team. It's like, oh, cool, okay, cool. I mean, you're probably right there. Bronny's the mascot, but you're seeing with these scenarios, the first time there's an away game that's within a drivable distance, oh, Bronny's actually injured. He can't play that game. Bronny stinks it up his second G League game. You know what? And now he's actually injured. He's actually injured. And then they're 4 games in 5 days. Odds of him play. These are all home games, by the way. Odds of him playing more than one are very low. Like, man's a part-time G League player, and as the worse he plays, the less he's going to play in the G League. And like, even the coach is being asked about it, and this is what he's saying.
It's all being discussed, and we'll see how it goes. Everything, as we know, it's a fluid situation with the G League, right? The only constant is change. So with all those guys, I don't know who it's going to be. It's about the Lakers' health, and they're the priority, and we adapt from there.
So basically, this is 2 days ago. They're talking about, it's still being discussed whether or not he's going to go and play in San Diego. And then conveniently, like, no word of talk of an injury here. This is after his last game. No talk of an injury. Conveniently, oh no, he's injured. Like, it's just convenient. Either way, though, what the Lakers are doing with Bronny James, Like, the second LeBron retires, we all know they're going to pay out that contract and cut him. Like, we all know that. But the reality is they want him to play as little as possible so that he's less likely to get banned. And it's as simple as that. Say not less likely banned. Less likely to get found out. And why did I say banned? Jesus. He's less likely to get found out, and the facade will live on. Because when he plays 10 G League games and averages 4 points per game on league worst shooting, and they find out he's the worst player in the G League, the facade is over. The novelty is over. It just becomes sad then bringing it out to the Lakers. But if he's played 2 G League games and struggled, and then he's like, no, he's actually a Lakers player, and then plays garbage time for the Lakers, you could be like, oh, well, look, it's just the start of the season. He was looking for rhythm in the G League. He's actually pretty good. But as long as the illusion of Bronny James being an NBA player is there, they're going to make the most of that. So they need to keep the illusion alive as much as possible. And by having him play more G League games, the illusion dies. And that is on the Lakers. That is not on Bronny James. If you're taking this video as a hit piece on Bronny James, it's wrong. Like, the reality is he's not good enough. And that's not a personal thing on him. That's just a basketball thing. Nobody, I would guarantee you, none of this, people watching this video are good enough to play in the NBA. Unless it's Kwame Brown again, who, I'll stand by this, I'm a Kwame Brown truther. Was he a bad number 1 overall pick? Yeah. Did he start more than half his games in the NBA for 12 years? Yeah. Is he one of the better, like, 40%, maybe top 30% of NBA players ever? Yeah. But either way, unless it's literally Kwame Brown watching this, we're all better, or Bronny's better than every one of us at basketball. But I think we can all admit we're not good enough. So I think it's fine to point out when a pro athlete is completely out of their depth and is just being put into positions to effectively be a sideshow mascot for the team. And that's on the Lakers, not on him.